change their stats, their callouts, the players themselves, and how they approach the game. And so far, they're making it work for them. Ying being banned first, that is Heroic's choice as they start on defense, and Secret will start on the attacking side. What follows up? Last map we saw it was the Kaid and Ayana from Secret and the Asami and Dokkaebi from Heroic. So different operators right off the bat. Or not. Ayana follows along.
Secret don't like this operator being played against Heroic at all, so they will instead ban out the Yana twice in a row.
Twice in a row indeed.
I think Ying being gone on Oregon is an exceptionally smart idea. I know that on Clubhouse you were a little bit skeptical of this Kaid. Has anything changed with it being Oregon?
Yeah, so Oregon does change things, right? Because the base and bomb site being so hatch dependent, the lobby, the freezer, and the meeting hatch, it is so annoying to deal with that you pretty much have to bring Thatcher because the impact EMPs don't have a big enough range to consistently deal with the kite claws. And you don't want to have to bring a Thatcher just to open up hatches in case a kite gets brought. So this again frees up your operator lineup, you can get more flexible, and when you're tagging that base and bomb site, especially with Ying being banned off the board, you need to bring other heavy utility or execution enabling operators. That can be the Line, it can be the Oza, it can be a Monty, whichever your team prefers. Ying, for example, Glass, for example, is a stellar operator for a basic Oregon attack, although almost no teams bring it because it's a very difficult operator to play, especially to navigate through a smoke with a very zoomed-in scope.
All right, very first defense will be on the basement of Oregon. And about as good of a time as ever for us to break down the way that Oregon is played. Heading into today, it's only been played 3 times. It was 4, to be fair. It's the 4th least played map. It's like almost exactly in the middle.
Okay.
50% of the rounds have been won by the defense, 50% of the rounds have been won by attack. So, again, when I said during the very first map, we don't have a lot of plays on some of these maps. The fact that Oregon's only been played 3 times is really not a ton. Yeah, Clubhouse was, 4 plays as well?
Yeah.
But even 1 or 2 more times gives you a better picture of whether the map is settled. The stats are a bit deceiving because if you have a team that's really proficient on attack, doesn't matter how defender-sided it is, they could bump the numbers up in one direction. Operator bans obviously have a huge amount of impact as well.
Yes.
So 50% for Oregon. We'll go into the individual bomb sites in the next round, but safe to say, Laundry Supply, out of all the bomb sites that are continued to be played and are played quite often, Laundry Supply in the basement is by far and away the best site for the defenders.
I'd agree with that.
Wow, look at this.
Oh, the nade.
Misses him. Doesn't even do a single point of damage to him. Now there is a second opportunity. This angle being held by Grizzly. Heroic getting the very first pick. It's on to Grubby. The Nook was awfully deceptive.
It's again, Heroic getting in their face, right? I can hear this voice saying, go basement roam, go basement roam, just like on Clubhouse. Fight them where you want to. In Secret, they didn't take a buff, they didn't do vertical damage towards the members of Heroic that are roaming, and therefore they get punished. June is up here on the fire, but can slowly, or rather quickly, run away. Or fight.
You can hear the sounds of the para from Kendrews. He takes the engagement and wins it inside of Attic. He's got those pocket hard breach gadgets. Something that we've seen as the evolution of Oregon never really stops is that teams will actually forego a traditional hard breacher and instead run exclusively with one of those operators who can run the secondary hard breach gadget. Capitao gets seen. We see a lot of Ying. We see a lot of Buck. And it opens up what utility your team can bring. Because it's not your main gadget. And if you only want to open 2 hatches and that's it, bringing one of those operators with the secondary hard breach gadget is often more than suitable, especially with a Kaid ban.
It is, and now you also get the caps of fire, arrows, and smoke, and it's all about that execute, which backside is happening right now.
Kills from both teams will ring in. Astro starting off strong, being a part of the action. Numbers favor Secret. They're boxed out of the bomb site, or so they think. Slebin will delay towards Laundry. Grizzly is not too far off. There's a drone right next to him, and he'll let one player from Secret just fly on by. Plant going down in the hands of Kendrew. Astro's been down, finished off by Grizzly. That's information. Kendrew successful. It's now on to Slebin to hold off the one cross. Softwall explodes in front of him. Kendrew and Slevin side by side, looking for any intel that can be gained from Heroic. Grizzly's made his way inside a freezer, and he's ice cold, baby. Yet another kill goes in, and Kendrew finished off by Grizzly. 3 kills. Technically, it's Noodle to get the kill. Grizzly just gets the finish. And with plenty of time left, Heroic win their first round.
It's another retake from Heroic. I count that as 4 if you go back to Clubhouse as well. These are rounds that typically defenders should not be winning statistically, because once the bomb goes down, attackers have such a big advantage. But it is Oregon basement. There's no, far away outside the building post-plant position you can play from. You gotta fight it out on the bomb side, and going up against a smoke and a mute with SMG11 shotgun is difficult. Heroic, they make great work with the weapons, playing close quarter, also throwing the C4 over to enable the member of Smoke inside the elbow to get back into the bomb side. That is one opening. Then Toxic Babe gets tossed out, forcing the secret members to run away, and then the flank comes through from Freezer Staircase, or from Freezer Hallway rather. It was beautifully played by Heroic.
Technical issues, and happen all the time. They just do.
It does.
They just do.
Actually, I would actually go so far as to say it has not happened that frequently.
It hasn't happened to us at all, actually. Oh. This is the very first technical timeout that you and I have had. Yep. This is the last match that we're going to be casting today. So, I mean, it's possible it'll happen again, but 3 matches in to not have a technical issue, that's pretty good.
There you
but
see.
It gives you some time to go through the strats.
Yeah, literally.
Sloth just has them in front of him.
He's doing some reading. Yeah, so those are strat papers, not call-out papers.
Yes.
Yeah, they are.
The technical issue is on Heroic's side, by the way.
Oh, win the round, then knock out a cable or 2, get a technical timeout.
Okay, enough.
Okay, so the coaches can't talk and the players can do limited talking during these, so that's not actually a viable strategy. I'm not saying they're doing that, but that's a good little meme that they throw at each other here and there.
He is not seriously accusing them.
Not this time.
Of deception.
Not this time. I am sure it has happened, as it does in every sport, because sometimes somebody gets a little angry and goes, and hits the wrong thing. Accidentally on purpose, of course.
I am breathing out very heavily.
Yeah, I can't hear it.
Not really much to talk about after that first round, unless you'd like to go into specifics about what you saw happen.
No, I mean, the one big takeaway is that Secret, they are, I don't want to say that they're ego challenging Heroic, but they try to take the path of least resistance, which is like going through lobby, as you saw from Grubby, Grubby, on the Nook, and just challenge somebody. One guy walking from small tower, bottom by stairs, challenge the other guy. But the correct play, if you will, is to go up above, open up the soft destructible floor to deny the freezer crossfire with the freezer staircase as well, and then isolate the members of Heroic. It takes more time. You gotta roam clear Doom, which they did later on. They almost did step number B first, got punished, then went back to step number A, then succeeded. But it cost them a member, it cost them time, and that might be the difference maker for them, as they didn't have that extra member and the frag grenades once they reached the bomb site later on.
Seems to be a mic issue that has befallen poor Noodle.
You know, if only it was a monitor issue back when Lion first came out, because you wouldn't need your monitor to play Lion. You just need a mouse with the middle mouse button key bound to the gadget, and you just click it.
Tell the story again.
I mean,
tell the story.
For the people who don't know this story, back in, oh my god, how long ago is this? It's a long time ago. Magnus was on Fnatic, that's how long ago it is.
As an the Paris Major.
It might have been Paris Major, yeah.
Is that the Paris Major?
And we're practicing against, I believe, Fnatic, and we're playing Coastline, and Fabian's monitor just like blacks out in the middle of the round, but he's playing Lion. So we go, Fabian, can you still use your mouse? Like try and turn, and we'll like look at this character. It's like, yeah, I can. I'm like, okay, just pop the Lion when we tell you to. Wow. We'll like make plays.
Yeah.
And within the 3 Lion charges that we used, we won the round 4v5.
Wow.
And the admin just like walked in, took the monitor, walked out, and then came back at the end of the round, put it back down, clocked it in. Great scrim. So if only it was a monitor issue back then, this wouldn't even be necessary. We just keep on going.
Awesome story now.
Come on. Do you dislike Fabian that much, Parker?
What's the deal with Fabian? I've heard you tell that story like 1,000 times.
That's so, yeah. I feel like
Lion was so strong that we didn't even need to move. All we needed to do was press the gadget button. Yeah, you were also the...
What? Would you disagree he was strong?
You were also literally the best team in the world. It was like...
Okay.
You were... It's like you're like the Monstars from Space Jam, and you're playing up against a bunch of like high school kids.
That is not fair comparison. Is it?
I'm sorry. How many maps did you lose at that entire event?
Paris? We lost the 6-0 Villa to Market in group stage. That was it. Then we 6-0'd Millennium on Villa the day after, and everyone thought that we intentionally lost to hide the fact that to basically show that we were bad at the map, so everyone banded against us after. But we didn't do it on purpose. Like, we actually just lost the Market 6-0.
You guys were like super soldiers, destroying like a bunch of like children at a game of like basketball, and you lost a single map all event. You're going, no, it's not a fair comparison. You're so humble.
Okay.
Anyway.
My only point was that Lion used to be the strongest than he is now. He is still good, however, especially the secondary MPs at disposal. I think the real question nowadays, if you're a Lion player, right, Parker, do you bring the DMR or the AR? Because that's a different kind of way to cook. If you,
I find DMRs get played a lot more on LAN.
They do.
So, I mean, I think it's worth noting that most of the people who cast this game are not good enough to really get the most out of one or the other. But I will say, I prefer a higher rate of fire because it's more forgiving. Hold on a second here. Action is going to just start happening. Heroic decide that Secret's entrance is not something they want. So they take the battle to them and kill all of them except for Grubby. Grubby's the last one alive. He'll just wander into the bomb site. Doesn't look lost, but doesn't have that same moxie, that same level of confidence. He's over by Big Window. He's Buck. He can tear things open. And he will, in fact, have to blow this entire round wide open. Goes on to drone, sees the Warden of Noodle. Down he goes. That's 2 kills from Grubby. Suddenly became very winnable. Sloth and Grizzly are the last 2 alive, but they're out of the bomb site, and they've got the diffuser. That's the bigger issue for Grubby, is he has to go towards them. He doesn't know where they are. One's on the ground, one's upstairs, and there's a cam giving his position away. Grubby softened up. And he's down for the count. Heroic, 2-0.
You Noodle, you do not need to push them 3v1s. We can play back far.
Oh.
Yeah, Noodle.
Oh, yeah, Noodle. You don't gotta push.
Hey, Noodle. You don't need to push in 3v1s.
I mean, I will say, whatever, like, that is so correct, though. It's like, that is the wrong thing to do. It's getting risky. Tactical break from Secret, very early on here.
It's a timeout. It's a real bona fide timeout now. So Team Secret obviously not liking what they saw. Let's listen.
Together. So very clearly a not a strategical necessarily timeout, but more of a motivational / atmosphere / mental situation. Twister seeing that the players play too isolated and too alone, trying to win individually rather than trying to win together as a team. And looking at how that rush really went, it was very, very isolated from the members of Secret. I do agree with that. Grubby tried to make something happen, got 3 kills in the round, but no one else really had a backup or a trade going. I mean, the 2 members of the Master Bedroom rush, the 3 members of Master Bedroom died. 1 member, then like 4 second passes, then the 2nd member dies. If you're going for a bomb site rush, you should be dying at the same time or trading each other out within a fraction of a second, otherwise something is wrong. You gotta be right at the heels of your teammate to be there in the action when it occurs. And that was not the case. I also am a very big fan of the fact that Twister takes this time out extremely early on, just after round number 2, to catch this right as it occurs, to fix it for the rounds to come, instead of saying, let's wait till round 4, 3, then take this time out, say the same thing, but have less time to work with. He's trying to apply these things as early as possible to stop it from happening, to get back into this round-wise, and start building some rounds on the board. That's awkward.
Can't shoot through those sandbags. Astro, who was magnificent in the first map of Clubhouse, well, seems to have hit a bit of a snag here on Oregon. Not quite so strong on this entry one bit. 1 for 3, and entry stats right now not looking so good. It's aggressive hold from Heroic, taking the engagement in tower very seriously.
Oh yeah. This is a classic EU like year 3 strategy. You fight in big tower, baby, and it's hard to pick apart as an attacker because you don't typically attack against this, so you're not very practiced or well versed in that scenario.
It's especially hard to fight against when you've lost 3 players on your team and you've lost a good bit of explosives of the offset. If there's an Azami holding the top part of tower, you're going to need every explosive you can get.
Yeah.
Ash is definitely one of those.
Oh.
Celebratory bounce from June after taking out Kendra. That's Diffuser down. Sleben in a 1v5. All eyes from his team will be on him. I'm going to say the thing that we got called out on social media.
That. Yeah.
He might just take a little bit of a timeout.
But why do you keep saying that? Maybe he should... Yeah, I saw that post. It's valid, though. But the thing is, this is essentially what pro players do. I can say from experience. Like, there's no reason for Sleben. Like, statistically, this round is way over a while ago. You're gonna go in and die immediately, or take a quote-unquote glorified tactical timeout without your coach, of course, and just talk amongst yourself as a team. What went wrong? What are we gonna fix? What's the situation, etc. Because you don't have that many seconds to spare in Siege in the active round when people are alive. Also, what was it? I had something I want to talk about, actually. Oh yeah, yesterday, Heroic up against Dark Zero, they were going through a lot of mental exercises, right? They were winning rounds, losing rounds, and things weren't always going their way, but mentally, Heroic, they seemed pretty much in it the entire time. Secret, they go down 0-2, they call a tactical timeout, and following up round, they get flawless by Heroic by big tower hold on the tertiary bomb site defense. I am questioning and wondering, how is Team Secret going to look in 2 rounds from now if this keeps happening in terms of their mental, their confidence, and how aggressive they can play?
I'm not contractually obligated to say it, but I was correct. I mean, Sleben did take a timeout, and it's going to let his team settle down and maybe discuss next steps.
Yeah. As one should. There's no reason not to, honestly.
Technically a flawless round from Heroic, even though it doesn't display on the screen because they win the round without any of them dying. Perfect site rotation as well for Heroic.
Yeah.
Laundry, dorms, and meeting. Team Secret keeps Sleben alive. Don't get a single kill.
I'd also argue that Oregon being a map where I would say that the base and bomb site is like, that's a stable one that every team likes to run, defender favorite, etc. That's great. Then you go up to the Kid Storm's bomb site. It's kind of a 50-50 at best for defenders, and tertiary gets kind of gradually worse. Of course, depending on your playstyle, your strats, execution, operator bands, etc. But my point is, Oregon is not a map with a bunch of bomb site where you're thinking, I love this one, let me go here instead. Winning the perfect bomb site rotation of basement, upstairs, tertiary has a lot of value on this map because you get back to basement. Then you get your secondary strongest bomb site, because let's say you're struggling on basement like Kid Storms, it's very rare to see teams even up to the tertiary bomb sites as a backup because they simply just aren't that great. That's going to be, you know, dining, kitchen, and kitchen meeting. And Heroic, they go tertiary, they just defend one area of the map, big tower with 3 members, and that's it. And now they can buy themselves, not a free round by any means of basement, but it's the most likely round to be won bomb site-wise is this basement bomb site.
In terms of the individual bomb sites based on the numbers, I promised you that we would come back to it, and now is the perfect time to do so, as 3 bomb sites have been played. Laundry's supply room's been played 13 times, and it's been won 69% of the time by the defense.
Drone's up and running.
Fine, I'll do it myself. Nice.
Nice.
Dorms and the kids' dorms bomb site has been played 11 times, and it's been won by the defense just 5 of those 11 times, for a total of 45%. Meeting hall and kitchen has been played 7 times, and has only been won, I believe, a single time by the defenders. That's brutal. It's a very attacker-sided bomb site. Kitchen and dining, however, has been played once, and it was won by the defenders. The attackers have a 0% win rate on that bomb site.
We spoke of Astro Parker in his stat line and intro devs, and he is adding one more to the tally in the wrong way. 1-4 now, first of all, and when that happens, typically nothing positive follows up for Secret. is the early aggression from Heroic fighting them, right? Spawn peeking right now. 2 rounds in a row with success. Also taking some damage off Kendra earlier on in the round, the first 10 seconds. Savage, his flourish drones now doing a good amount of soft destruction. Clear out the barbed wire, utility, etc. But you need your guns to strike true to fight Heroic on this basement defense. The drones won't do it for you.
Right now playing in the position that's affectionately referred to as Harry Potter because it's under the stairs. Sloth, waiting. Doesn't look like there's anybody actively holding pillar from Heroic. That means Grubby won't be contested for his position. Slevin decides to engage, but Sloth is just really, really on it at the moment. Slevin will bleed out, Astra already down. Heroic will await the troops of Secret down the back stairs. The Kiba barrier will block his line of sight as well. Kendrew gets Slevin back up. There's no read whatsoever. Grubby goes for broke, does not work out. Kendrew now stopped as well from going into blue because of the toxic canister. That means Savage has to drop, but it's to his own doom. Suddenly, a flawless round this time is very much a reality. Whether Slevin and Kendrew will head to the hills and regroup is anybody's guess, but they have 30 seconds to go. They will once again take the engagement to Heroic, but they are in free fall. Kendrew wanders down. He gets picked apart. Slevin will play off of the logic bomb. No deaths for Heroic this round, no deaths for Heroic last round. Slevin in a 1v5 yet again. Down the bottom of Laundry stairs. 3 sets of eyes from Heroic, all in the same area. Who gets to walk away with the kill? Joom wants it. Taking damage in the process, but a flawless round, technically, yet again. Slevin survives both rounds, but it's all for naught because Heroic wins both of them. It's 4-0. And that means Heroic cannot lose this first half at all.
No, you're right. And I will say, I mean, the Asami, the Kiba barriers that round gets immense value, but also, as Twister said, play together. Grubby went down the tower stairs into a gunfight while Kindred's arriving inside a blue. That's not the ideal situation to be in if you were to want to play together. So things really are falling apart for Team Secret. And we also get to see just how strong Asami can be when not banned off the board, because in map number 1 of Clubhouse, Asami was banned by Heroic, which meant that she saw no play on the previous map. However, on this one, can single-handedly turn the tides of a round, as we just witnessed. Heroic, they are flexing their operator lineup right now. They got Frost, Capkin, Warden, and Mute on a Kid Spunk defense. So maybe expecting a different kind of rush like last time. Shutting that down with traps, with damage, deployable shield, utility, if you will. Always a great component to have at your disposal if you want to make your gunfights go into your favor even greater.
What do you do if you're Secret in this particular instance, Nick? I mean, nothing is working.
Mental boom is what we call this where I'm from. You gotta reset like right now. 2 things. Astro keeps dying the first 30 seconds, and he's the injured player for Secret. Nothing really happens after that. Secondly, we're playing alone. He's dead again. There's no follow-up, no trade, no one's near him. He just zoomed into the building with the Lion Charge, and now he's playing 4v5 again.
Of the opening kills through these 5 rounds, 5 of them in favor of Heroic. Only technically 1 for Secret because it was a trade, so that's a wash. In terms of it being uncontested, yeah, it's Heroic getting it every single time. For a map that's been played literally down the middle, that's not the number you want to see. 50% in favor of the attackers, 50% in favor of the defenders. I mean, that means that you can turn around and still have a 4-2 half here. Then Team Secret is a 4-2 half, and guess what? You still end up at 50%.
Yeah.
But mentally, you need to stay in the game. It's not about site rotation. It's not always about which side you start on. If you tilt off the face of the earth,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter how friendly a bomb site is to you on defense.
Oh.
If you're throwing everything out the window, you're not going to win.
Momentum surely is a thing, and so is confidence. Right now, Heroic, they are just brewing it and building it up further and further. I mean, they're standing their ground and fighting toe and nail every chance they can get here. And Secret, they're barely fighting back at this point. They're now waiting for something to happen. It's completely shifted on its head.
Joom is ready for it. They walk right in. Does he fade away? No. Kill from Slevin. That's the first kill that they've been able to get on Heroic in 3 rounds. Are there more to go? No. Heroic are speed running Oregon at this point. 5-0.
I just love the contrast of Heroic wins around, Doom starts yelling towards Secret, Uno calmly says something like, good job guys, next round, whatever. It's like two completely different sides between, not necessarily between like a veteran and like a young player of Doom and Uno, but just the sheer personality trait differences and how they are as players, as people, etc. where Uno doesn't care about talking smack to his, opponent across the room. He wants to focus on the next round. I'm sure Doom does as well. He's not pointing that out in a negative way about him, but he wants to talk the smack as well, right? And that's often we see from the younger players. They gotta get into some battles of their own, and we've all been there.
Have we?
I believe that us players. Sorry, you don't qualify for this one, Parker. Us players, I think we've all been there. Yeah, where we're like, went around and say something bad to the opponent, like, you guys suck, get a grip, hit your shots, whatever,
Yeah.
Usually it's not as TV friendly, but yeah.
That's the nicest trash talk I've ever heard.
Really.
You guys are really not great at the game, and I think we are better. You know what? I feel like something that you can say. I have a theory here.
Okay.
Battle toxicity.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to endorse toxicity.
Okay.
So I apologize if you think I am. But a question I have is, when you say like GG easy, even if it was an easy match, like that's kind of toxic, right?
Yeah.
If you type objectively, we were better. Because it is entirely truthful. Objectively, you were better.
Yeah.
You won the match.
Yeah. But that's
Can you get banned for typing that in chat? Because if all you say is GG's objectively we were better, it's a statement of fact.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
GG's we win.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna sting, but it's not necessarily toxic, but it will get perceived as, right? Because it hurts, it's truthful.
And that's a thought that's gonna fester,
I wish I knew that when I was young. I would have typed that every single game I won. I'd just like to really mental boom my opponent.
First kill in this round goes to Secret. That's big. It's their very first uncontested opening duel. That breaks in their favor. They get another two as well. Grubby's on one this round. Down goes Joom. Astro can't buy a kill at the moment. Heroic inside of Attic making some noise, but the Grubby story is still there. 3 kills to his name, every single one at this point for Secret in this round. But he's got to pivot from that upstairs bombs, or the upstairs area, to the actual bomb site, just down below in meeting. Again, need I remind you that meeting has only been won a single time by the defenders prior to this map. And now, based on the numbers, we might finally see the attackers win again, but it was won by Heroic earlier.
Yeah. I mean, Grubby's 1 HP, 1 tick from Toxic Babe takes him into an injured state. Plant could be set up here from Secret. They have upstairs control, so if Grubby can cut one line of sight, that could work for them. But again, he has 1 HP left, so a single bullet will eliminate him from the vertical damage control. Instead, might bait that and drop Meeting Hatch instead, where Uno is waiting for a play to happen.
Oh, and there's the defense putting in some work. Uno can now keep himself a bit safe, force Grubby or Savage to breathe in that toxic gas. Grizzly's not too far off as well. Savage has the diffuser, which is great because he's the player on the team with HP. Grubby is a single tick of that toxic canister down, but Uno is still in this spot. Savage in a 1v2. This round's been turned on its head. Uno could have a shotgun, and he does indeed. He peeks out. A perfect first half for Heroic.
Very impressive. It's 6-0. I mean, I don't want to jinx anything here, but we have yet to see a 7-0 at this event so far. And the man himself, who's been saying it since Clubhouse, take the fight to them, guys. Uno, he keeps telling his teammates, you need to fight them. He gets in the middle of the battle once more. And I believe Uno is sitting on 8 kills. Last I checked, put him some great numbers. Yep, 8 and 2 and 1. Great scoreline for him. Uno's second great showcasing statistically at this event so far. He had a 1 map yesterday against Dark Zero as well. And I point this out because Uno as an individual has been questioned by some fans, players, etc., broadcast members for he's not really putting up the numbers that you would expect from him. But also, Uno's job in Heroic is the leadership role, playing the hard support, etc., leading his team to the battle, but doing so and putting up numbers like someone like Kendra does, LMs from BTS. That is what makes a player S tier, right? The absolute supreme of their role. Doing your job in your role and putting up numbers bang. Can't get much better than that. Uno can lead the troops from the grave being 0 and 8 and still do a great job, but impact-wise doesn't really have a meaningful, round-defining moment in terms of kills. Like in the previous round, he finds 3 kills, touches out, doesn't need his teammates' help whatsoever. It's a big moment for Heroic here. The Secret, they gotta show up in the greatest form we have ever seen them in to date to turn this boat around. 0 and 6. Sure, it was Oregon attack, and it's not always easy to attack in Rainbow Six Siege, but you sure should not go and lose every single round the way Secret did.
This has been a fascinating matchup. Extremely close in map 1.
Yeah.
And I was expecting both Oregon and Bank to go deep into the night. Now, it's still possible. We've seen 2 6-0s happen before, though it is exceptionally unlikely.
Yeah. I mean,
keep in mind that based on the numbers, Oregon is a 50-50 map for attackers and defenders. That means Team Secret now has to win every single one of their defenses, and will do so.
that's a great start.
Absolutely it is. Grubby, a nice play around the banister. The door, down goes Slot, the door frame. His greatest aid. Heroic lose out on their Lion in the first minute of action. That's a very powerful operator that you talked about earlier.
Yeah. I mean, they still have their other card up their sleeve. That's Uno on the Capital, the other execution-based operator, the fire and the smoke. They have 2 frag grenades, 3 flashbangs. They can tear the bombs out of basement when they get there, but they will do so with 1 less gun at their disposal. See the strike from both walls and freezer opened up, so deep lines of sight in towards the bomb site itself means less cover for the attackers as well as the defenders of both teams. Keep barriers basically being deployed like deployable shields to create cover and angle for the defenders to use against the enemy as well. Heroic, they gotta figure out the locations of the enemy, then figure out how to deal with them. 2 frag grenades, 3 flashbangs, and capital fire is what they have to work with.
Plenty of utility to tackle this bomb site. Time starting to run out, though. Down below the minute mark. Uno will call for the rest of the team. Bait out the magnets. It's crucial that nothing stops these fire and smoke arrows from getting to their target. Uno takes a lot of damage in the process of pulling this one off. Toxic canister goes. Grizzly drops. He's got the diffuser. He'll have to sprint on through, but he's taking way too much damage, and Grizzly in the midst of it is going to die. Planting in the toxic gas. But Kendra's been down, and Savage is gone as well. So it's a 3v3. Still winnable for both of these teams. For Heroic, that's a 7-0. For Team Secret, it's ideally the hopes of a comeback. Down goes Astro, down goes Slevin. Heroic putting in work, but Grubby says something about it. Uno creeping up. 2 players to be found, both low HP. Can he get there in time? He's looking on the wrong side of the wall, and Kendra gets the final 2 kills.
Just one. One by one.
1 by 1.
A comeback starts with a single round, and that's what Secret's got. Obviously, it's a monumental task to win the next 5 in a row. But we've seen stranger things. The one thing I will say, the Secret, who've been howling at the moon after every single round victory,
Yeah.
not there right now.
I think you actually mentioned that, Parker, early on Clubhouse. What would happen if this scenario were to present itself? How will all that energy that we heard earlier, how will that disperse into the night? Well, they've become very quiet so far. No longer as cocky when they win. Respect, perhaps, being presented here between the 2 teams more and more so, as they both realize that it's a tough matchup. Now, I spoke earlier of the issue with Oregon defense, which is that the bomb sites get gradually worse for the defenders, which is why a perfect bomb site rotation of winning 3 in a row is so damn important. And my point with this is, Secret Day 1, the arguably easiest bomb site first. That's the basement. Now they're gonna go Kids Bunk upstairs. A little bit worse for them. And if they win this round, then you go tertiary. And you gotta do that twice in a row to go 6-0, go into overtime. This is a very tall task ahead of them. And 1 mistake, and it's over. Uno had the power and hand on the Capital. Both members of Secret, but less than 30 HP, but that was a single bullet. It was a very close round despite being a 1 versus 2.
Oh, this one's going to be very, very quick. Joom starts things off with a kill. Astro in round number 8 finds his second. If Astro comes online, that can be all that it takes to close this match between the 2 teams. Heroic cannot be nervous. Heroic cannot let this anxiety build too much around winning. And yes, this might be a very defender-sided Oregon that we just have been watching happen. And didn't really know, but Heroic needs to slow it down. They still have their timeout. Team Secret used their timeout all the way back at the tail end of round number 2, ages ago.
Yeah.
Then they had timeouts in both rounds 3 and 4 when they were in the 1v5.
I suppose that's true as well, actually, yeah. If there was one member that Doom could have killed on that entry that would give you the most value, that would be Kendra in the smoke, quite frankly. I mean, Toxic Babes off the board, you buy yourself like 30, 45 seconds extra to the attack inside because the toxic gas is now gone. Second option would be the Warden, of course, immune to flashbangs and smokes, but it won't matter because Grubby and the rest of Team Secret are hitting their shots again activated on the board, which means Heroic, they gotta really fight for these rounds.
Got House of Cards right now collapsing. Maybe in a bit slower motion now. Sloth and Grizzly, as we said, the two animals on the team. Will once again work together. But we'll have to deal with a bomb site that is not very friendly to the teams that are down numbers. If you're an attacker or if you're a defender trying to retake, if you do not have a numbers advantage, you're in a bad spot. Nitro Cell goes up. There's no target found for it. Nobody even close. Sloth's last man standing now for Heroic as Grubby gets the kill onto Grizzly. And Grubby, what a massive round from him. Take it one round at a time.
Yep.
And that's exactly what Twister is saying to his players, and that's what it seems to be what they're doing.
And it's the only way to go about it. You're not supposed to be like, we won one, but there's like 4 more to go. No, they don't, like, you look at it short term. You look at what's in front of you, each and every single round in a vacuum. Because when you think about it, 6 in a row, that's kind of hard. Like, that's a really, really tall order. But winning one round, that's very doable. And you gotta win one round in 6 different individual occasions in a row, and then you're there. But this right here is going to be the biggest challenge of them all, essentially. The tertiary bomb site. You have 2 options. Heroic, they opted for the kitchen and meeting bomb site twice, but Team Secret will opt for the kitchen dining bomb site instead. And it plays around either the small tower extension, which Secret is showing us right here, or what Heroic did, the big tower extension across the map. So you really have 2 different big characteristics that defines these tertiary bomb sites, and they both have something to do with a tower. Now, Secret, they can fight for their lives wherever they would like to, and Heroic can then challenge small tower, go for roam clear, vertical destruction, etc. They can roam out in basement with the Nurk that we saw from Doom last time, just coming up somewhere and striking from behind. Question really is, what would you like to do, because you have so many options as either team?
First time we're seeing this bomb site as well.
That is correct.
The tertiary, when it was Heroic on defense, was that meeting kitchen. Meeting is obviously the connector between these 2 bomb sites. Very similar to the last round, Heroic are looking for that quick entry. Noodle's already in, Jume's not too far behind. Will they find anybody above? Putting a soft destructor upstairs inside of dorms is invaluable, and many would argue a requirement to take this bomb site.
Yeah, I mean, that's the entire foundation of the strat is a soft destructor up above, right? You tear the bomb set apart from above, you deny important play positions like where Kendra is right now. He does have a C4 in pocket. If you find this sledge, that would be absolutely massive for Team Secret. And Kendra, he can kind of slither around right now until there's too much pressure. With this hatchment open up, well, that is too much. Off he goes. Sloth should now be safe to do more destruction above. The question now is, the flank from Secret, or will Heroic capture them around the map? Because right now, Grizzly inside a big tower is holding Grubby and meeting somewhat here with the knowledge of that position.
A reminder that that's not the bomb site. Oh, Jume, a bit of a jump scare. Slevin is right there, and now Grubby jumps on him. Grubby has come online the last couple rounds, and there's no doubt in anybody's minds that Secret are thriving because of Grubby's success. You have to isolate him. There's a bit of a brief pause for Heroic as they learn how to tackle meeting. They don't have very much information. They have next to no drones, so they're going to have to do this blind.
Yep. Gunfights, gunfights, gunfights. I somehow wish for Heroic's side that somebody was helping Doom in these battles because he's fighting so many people at once. But 1-for-1 trade is arguably favorable. However, it's Grub you want to aim for right now if you can shut anybody down from Secret. Heroic, they got 50 seconds left to work with, and they don't have to worry about the roamers. They could just hit the side.
The players who are designed to pinch Grubby are stalling out right now, and now Grubby's got yet another pick. This is huge for Team Secret. They were at a disadvantage. They have now made it work for them. Noodle will engage with Grubby, and Grubby wins yet again. How is he pulling this off? There could be yet another. A 4K eludes him. But Sloth gives information away. They know he's at the back of kitchen. They know he's inside a meeting. He and Uno staring down the 3 players from Secret. Savage have retaken from above.
15 seconds left.
Uno's in. They don't know. Sloth doesn't know that there's somebody above. A beautiful shot from him. Diffuser going down. Kendrew gets in, takes out Sloth, and now Uno as well. For good measure, Secret have won 3 in a row. These teams, they're streaking right now. 6 rounds in a row for Heroic, 3 for Team Secret as the comeback begins to become more and more realistic.
The only thing that worries me for Team Secret is that this is the Grubby show. I mean, sure, Kendrew gets a kill in there, Savage, whatever, etc. But Grubby's finding 3 or 4 Ks back-to-back here. Heroic, they will call their tactical timeout. I'm curious what they have to say about this lead slipping away.
Not only 1 or 2, because Duke hits it, and then everything stops. Either we commit as a team, or we don't. We play fucking structure, and we take them 1 by 1. 1 out of 2. At least the way I see it, that would benefit us. If someone went with June there, we would have had full control. That's what I mean. 1 plan, boys, 1 commitment, do 1 thing together. No fucking fancy shit now. Let's fucking go, boys. Hey, let's fucking go. Positivity. Let's fucking go.
Let's fucking go. 1 round, boys. 1 round. Yeah.
1 round, that is the story of this matchup so far. And Master Officer pointed out a very similar trait of what I was saying earlier, where if one person was helping Doom out in those battles, that can change the tide because, again, Doom gets the initial kill, gets punished by Grubby. No one's there to punish back. And then a very specific note to the leader of the team, of Uno, is that we need to lead this team either doing 1 versus 1 stuff where we're all going kind of crazy, or we go together as a 5-man unit. We cannot play both sides of the table. And this is not just a Heroic-specific thing. This is a general thing for pretty much every single team in Rainbow Six Siege, where you need to be on the same page with how you approach the rounds and the strategical elements of the game on every single map. And we often see this from the best teams in the world. They're on the same page. And we always used to say back in my day that 5, excuse my language, idiots following a bad plan is better than 5 idiots not having a plan at all. So essentially, just being on the same page can get you so much further in these rounds and in these moments. And we spoke in the very beginning of this, the basement attack and operators that are great to bring. Glass was mentioned. Glass is being shown now. Of course, that's 1 set of smokes on Glass, a 2nd smoke on the Capital smoke arrows. The one thing that I'm finding very, very interesting is that it's Doom. Of all the players in the squad, I mean, I know Uno has the Capital, that's what he does, but Doom is on the Glass duty. He's been the nuke, the backstabber, the interplayer, the aggressor for Heroic. Now, he's got to take a back seat while they roam clear, then hit the side and lead the charge in the execute instead. Noodle's gonna take the reins instead in the Ash, do that entry work. Doom is droning! I've never seen this before, I think. He's droning the first 40 seconds, not entering. Beautiful sight, I will say.
Another just number to look at.
Yeah?
Those opening picks.
Oh yeah, I mean...
In the last 3 rounds, Secret has either had an uncontested opening pick or traded. This one might be a little bit different. Savage and Astro, who play very pivotal roles for this team, have not been able to find the score sheet much at all. Savage, especially on smoke, a high priority target. You talked about it when it was Kendrew on the smoke, who died early. Now it's Savage on the smoke, who's gone. You saw in the previous defense of Laundry Supply for Team Secret how those toxic canisters not just slowed down Heroic, but ultimately killed the plant from being able to go down. You're not going to have that same result this time because it's the smoke who's off the board.
Doom, despite my monologue, just went in and destroyed Savage with a Baron 9. And the one thing that is positive for Team Secret from that result is that now they know Glass is being played from Heroic. That's an attacker repick. They had no idea about this. But because it was Doom who got the kill into Savage, they know Glass being played. They know when those smokes come out, you can't swing them. That's a danger zone. Goyo Fire, the only thing that can stop a plant. There are no C4s. Slevin has 2 impact grenades, but that's not really going to matter in the grand scheme of things, I doubt. Now you have magnets and Jaeger ADSs. If you are unlucky as Heroic or don't clear it correctly, they could catch those very precious smoke grenades and stall the execute.
Secret still has utility right now. I don't know if that was exactly what they wanted on the door frame, but the Glaz of Joom is going to be an interesting operator to watch. There's a log jam inside a freezer at the moment. Grubby, the raid boss, he's been taken out. Noodle exploiting that defense. Going down through blue. Nobody seems to see him coming. Utility's been expended from Uno, at least some of it, as the fire arrow continues to go off.
The diffuser's above. No one has diffuser right now.
That wasn't a fire arrow, that was actually the Goyo canister. That's big, but Uno's dead anyway, so there will be no utility to spare there. 2 kills from Astro, but Sloth finds the opening. Kendrew is down, Astro is a single point away, but his 3rd kill will be it. Heroic. They let Team Secret take those 3 rounds before picking the lead back up and closing out the series. It was close against Dark Zero yesterday, and it was close on map 1 against Team Secret today, but Heroic get the job done. 8-7 on Team Secret's map pick of Clubhouse, and then 7-3 on their own map pick, and now 7-3 on Secret's map pick.
Yeah. And mentality-wise, Heroic looking a lot more positive and kind of figuring that the mentality is like yesterday against Dark Zero might have been an issue for them. They recognized that, they fixed that for today, and again, the endurance from Heroic, they just fight it every single round, and this time today, they got better with time, whereas yesterday, it seemed that the longer Dark Zero could stall the game for, the worse they ended up